A 60-year-old elderly woman passed away in her sleep. Medical experts warn seniors about these critical napping errors. Have you ever stopped to consider that a simple afternoon nap might actually pose a hidden threat to your health as you grow older? Not long ago, a story came to light about a 60-year-old woman who led a full and active life, only to pass away silently during what appeared to be a completely ordinary afternoon rest. It is a heartbreaking event that has caused many families to rethink everything they believed about sleep and recuperation. Most of us see a nap as an innocent indulgence, a chance to restore our energy after a busy morning. But the reality is that as we grow older, our bodies become far more vulnerable to the way and timing of our rest. In this video, we are going to walk you through 5 critical mistakes that doctors caution seniors about when it comes to napping. These are not trivial slip-ups or outdated myths. They are grounded in genuine medical findings and the intricate physiology of the aging body. By the time this video is over, you will know precisely what to steer clear of so you can rest without worry. And more importantly, you will learn how to recognize the signals your body is trying to send you. Stay with us until the very end, because one of these mistakes is something nearly everybody does without a second thought, and yet it may be the most serious of them all. Now, let's dive in. Number 1. Napping too long and slipping into deep sleep. This is where the story of that 60-year-old woman becomes painfully instructive. According to the people who knew her, she was not ill. She was not frail. She was the kind of person who cooked her own meals, tended her garden, and kept up with her grandchildren. On that particular afternoon, she lay down as she always did, pulling a light blanket over herself and drifting off without a single worry in the world. She never woke up. Now, this is not meant to frighten you away from rest altogether. Rest is necessary and deeply beneficial at every stage of life. But what medical experts have since highlighted in discussions around cases like hers is a profound danger of what happens to the aging body when a nap extends too far beyond its intended window. When a senior lies down and naps for longer than 30 to 45 minutes, the body does not simply continue in a light, restorative state. It begins its ascent into what sleep scientists call slow-wave sleep or deep sleep. In younger individuals, entering and exiting this stage is generally seamless. The body transitions with relative ease, and waking up, while sometimes groggy, carries no significant medical risk for a healthy adult. But in seniors, this descent into deep sleep triggers a cascade of physiological events that the aging cardiovascular and neurological systems are not always equipped to manage safely. Blood pressure, which naturally fluctuates during sleep, can drop to levels that reduce oxygen delivery to the brain and heart. In individuals who already have undiagnosed or mildly managed conditions such as sleep apnea, atrial fibrillation, or arterial stiffness, this period of deep daytime sleep can become a window of extreme vulnerability. Cardiologists have pointed out that the hours between early afternoon and late evening represent a period when the body's circadian rhythm creates a natural dip in alertness. This dip is real and measurable. It is why so many cultures around the world have historically incorporated a short afternoon rest into the daily routine. However, that biological dip was never designed to accommodate the hour-long or longer naps that many seniors gradually drift into, often without realizing just how deeply asleep they become. The recommendation from sleep medicine specialists is clear and consistent. Seniors should aim to keep naps within a window of 20 to 30 minutes, with an absolute upper limit of 45 minutes for those who feel they need slightly more rest. Setting an alarm before lying down is not a sign of overcaution. It is one of the simplest and most effective protective measures a senior can take. Think of it as a small act of self-preservation that costs nothing and could mean everything. Number 2, napping at the wrong time of day. Most people assume that as long as they feel tired, it is perfectly acceptable to lie down and rest. And while fatigue is certainly a signal worth listening to, timing plays a far more critical role in napping safety for seniors than most people ever discuss. Medical experts have identified a particularly risky window for senior napping, and it falls surprisingly late in the day. Napping after 3 o'clock in the afternoon has been shown to significantly disrupt the body's natural sleep architecture during nighttime hours. When the nighttime sleep cycle becomes fragmented or shortened, seniors lose out on the deeper restorative sleep that regulates hormone production, immune function, and cardiovascular repair. Over time, this creates a dangerous feedback loop where poor nighttime sleep leads to more daytime fatigue, which leads to later and longer naps, which leads to even worse nighttime sleep. But the risks go beyond sleep quality. Research in sleep cardiology has documented that late afternoon and early evening napping in seniors is associated with elevated risks of nocturnal cardiac events. The heart, which relies on a predictable rhythm of activity and rest throughout a 24-hour period, becomes confused by irregular sleep timing. In seniors with any underlying cardiac vulnerability, this confusion can manifest as arrhythmias, dangerous drops in blood oxygen, or sudden cardiac episodes during the night. The ideal napping window for seniors, according to sleep researchers, falls between noon and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. This timing aligns with the body's natural post-lunch circadian dip and is far enough from bedtime that it does not interfere with nighttime sleep quality. If you find yourself desperately craving sleep at 4 or 5 in the afternoon, that is a signal worth bringing to your doctor because it may indicate something beyond ordinary tiredness. Number 3, sleeping in a position that compromises breathing. Here's the mistake that almost nobody talks about, and yet it may be the one with the most immediate physical consequences. Seniors frequently nap on sofas, recliners, and chairs, often in positions that look comfortable from the outside, but are quietly restricting their airway and circulation from within. As the body ages, muscle tone in the throat, and airway naturally decreases. This is a normal part of aging, but it becomes dangerous in certain sleep positions. When a senior falls asleep in a chair with their head slumped forward or to the side, or on a sofa with their neck at an awkward angle, the relaxed throat muscles are more likely to collapse partially over the airway. In medical terms, this is what produces snoring, but in more serious cases, it produces obstructive apnea events, where breathing actually stops for several seconds at a time. In a young, healthy person, the brain quickly registers a drop in oxygen and sends a signal that rouses them just enough to restore breathing. In seniors, particularly those with any degree of cardiovascular disease or reduced neurological responsiveness, this rouse signal can be delayed or insufficient. The result is prolonged oxygen deprivation that puts tremendous strain on the heart. Experts recommend that seniors who nap should do so lying flat on their back or slightly on their side in a proper bed or on a firm, supported surface, with the head and neck in a neutral position. If lying flat is not comfortable due to acid reflux or other conditions, a slight incline using a wedge pillow is acceptable. What is not acceptable, from a safety standpoint, is the chin-to-chest slump that happens so often when seniors doze off in a chair without support. Number 4, ignoring the warning signs that napping is masking. One of the most profound and sobering points that physicians make about senior napping is this: excessive daytime sleepiness is not simply a sign of getting older. It is a symptom, and it deserves to be treated as one. When a senior begins to feel an overwhelming need to nap every single day, when they cannot seem to get through a morning without nodding off, when no amount of nighttime sleep leaves them feeling rested, these are not inconveniences to be managed with an extra blanket and a comfortable chair. They are the body's way of waving a red flag. Conditions including hypothyroidism, early-stage heart failure, undiagnosed sleep apnea, anemia, depression, and even certain medication interactions can all manifest as severe daytime fatigue in seniors. Many of these conditions are entirely treatable when caught early. But when families and seniors themselves normalize the fatigue as simply a feature of aging, the underlying cause goes undetected, silently progressing until it reaches a critical point. The lesson here is not to stop napping. It is to pay attention to the pattern. If your need for daytime sleep has increased noticeably over weeks or months, if you wake from naps feeling disoriented or with a pounding heart, if you experience shortness of breath or chest discomfort after resting, do not wait. Have a conversation with your doctor. These symptoms, individually or together, may be telling you something important. Number 5, waking up abruptly and rising too quickly. The final mistake is one that happens in the moments after the nap ends, and it catches many seniors completely off guard. The act of waking up and standing too quickly after a daytime nap can trigger a sudden and dangerous drop in blood pressure known as orthostatic hypotension. During sleep, Blood pressure naturally settles at a lower level as the body is at rest. When a senior wakes abruptly from a deep nap and immediately stands or moves quickly, the cardiovascular system does not always have enough time to compensate by pushing blood pressure back up to a standing level. The result is a sudden rush of dizziness, lightheadedness, and in many cases, a fall. Falls remain one of the leading causes of serious injury and death among seniors worldwide, and a significant proportion of them occur in the immediate aftermath of sleep. The advice from geriatric specialists is simple but vital. When you wake from a nap, remain still for at least 1 to 2 minutes before sitting up. Then sit at the edge of your bed for another minute before standing. This brief, deliberate transition gives your cardiovascular system the time it needs to adjust and keeps you firmly on your feet where you belong. The 5 mistakes we have walked through today are not meant to steal your peace or make you afraid of rest. Rest is one of the most healing things your body can receive. But rest, like everything else in life, must be approached with wisdom, especially as the years accumulate and the body becomes more intricate in its needs. If you or someone you love is a senior, share this information. Pin it. Write it down. Because the difference between a safe nap and a dangerous one often comes down to the simplest of details. How long, when, in what position, and how you rise when it's over. Your life and the lives of those you love are absolutely worth that extra care. Also, please, I would love you to subscribe and share this video. Comment the city you are listening from. Love you guys.